As you can see, HEAD make plenty of tennis rackets, but which are the best ones and which ones are right for you? I'm going to go through my top 5 to help you choose the next HEAD tennis racket for you. Hi, I'm Ben from PH Tennis, and today I'm going to take you through my top 5 HEAD rackets, trying to sift through some of the differences between them, what they're for, who they're for, how they play, and essentially just to give you a brief outline of the HEAD tennis racket range. I'm a big fan of having fun on the tennis court, so that is a big part of my selection process, is the rackets that I want to find easy to use, a bit distinct or different, something that when you play you have a good time doing it, makes you play in a certain way and just gives you a great tennis experience. So that's what's going to be my top 5. All right, in at number 5 we have the brand new HEAD Boom, and I particularly like the MP version. So the Boom is HEAD's power racket. It tells you very clearly on the racket it's for explosive playability, whatever that means. What we found when we used it is just a really easy racket to find lots and lots of power. So quite often with rackets like this, they get stiff, they're chunky, they're heavy, and they're nice and powerful, but you lose quite a lot of comfort. What the Boom does really nicely is sort of balance the power you get from this type of racket with a nice, comfortable, playable feel. It comes in 2 colours. This is the colour I've started to prefer. Originally I preferred the black, but the more I look at it, this is coming up. So the HEAD Boom MP is my 5th favourite racket and my favourite of the power rackets that you can get. So there we have it. At number 4 we have the Prestige, and more specifically the Prestige Tour. Now the Prestige is the precision frame from HEAD. Notoriously difficult to use, but when you get it right they feel absolutely great, and the Tour is the best of the bunch as far as I'm concerned. 95 square inch head, 315 grams, combined to make this a lovely feeling racket that once you get used to, once you can get it going, it feels absolutely great. Hard to use, but fun to use when you can master the Prestige. So Auxetic 2.0 in there, didn't mention that's in the Boom as well. Part of the reason why these rackets feel so nice, and a lot of the new HEAD range does. But if you're looking for a precision racket that feels great, you cannot go wrong with a Prestige Tour if you are good enough to use it. At number 3 we have the Radical MP. Now this is very personal. It's in my top 5, of course. And first tennis racket I ever used was an old Radical. I think it was a microgel. We're going back about 15 years, maybe a little bit more, 20 years now. So I've always had a soft spot for the Radical. It looks great now. It went through a period of not looking so hot, but I do like an orange racket. I love the way the Radical feels. It's all about versatility. You can play however you want with a Radical. It's got elements of lots of different rackets built in. It's great for spin, it's great for power, it's great for speed, it's easy to use. 98 square inch head makes it a little bit more controlled at contact. It's got slightly denser string bed, slightly tighter sweet spot, but when you get it right, the Radical feels great. If you do use a Radical, you can pretty much go to anything else. When they say it's versatile, they are 100% correct. So slap bang in the middle, number 3, the Radical MP. In at number 2, a very strange choice, but hear me out. We have the Extreme MPL, the light version. Now, honourable mention, all of us really like the Extreme MP. But the MPL for me is the #1 best light racket. So those rackets around 280, 285 grams, things like the Teams from Babolat or the L's from Wilson, this is the best of the bunch as far as I'm concerned. I have never used a racket that is easier to serve with than the Extreme MPL. It sounds like a lightning bolt going off when you make contact. Could not be more fun, could not be easier to use. Loads of spin, loads of power. You can throw this racket around like it's a go-kart and have an absolute whale of a time doing it. Obviously, it's on the lighter side. It's not going to be for your bigger, stronger players, but if that's you and you do want a big, heavier racket, try the Extreme MP or even the Pro or the Tours. The same with all these other rackets. MPL, great if you're a junior, a slightly weaker player, physically not as strong. You will not be disappointed with the Extreme MPL. All right, and finally, my number one, no surprise to those of you who've seen any of our videos before, it is the Speed MP. It was the top five, it was number one of all of my rackets. So of all the rackets, it was number one in my top five. It is still there. I am still using it and I'm still loving it. The Speed MP is a fantastic all-round racket designed for speed, believe it or not. It's a very, very maneuverable racket. You can throw it around, loads of control, but the Auxetic 2.0, again, HEAD absolutely knocks it out of the park with Auxetic 2.0, creates a really, really comfortable, solid, plush, quality feeling racket. The looks is the only thing it lets itself down on a little bit. It's growing on me all the time. It takes different strings really, really nicely. I've had loads of different strings in here. They all play really, really well. You can't go wrong with a Speed MP. Once again, the Pro, great racket. The MPL, great racket. One thing HEAD does do really, really well is the full range. Often brands have rackets that the Tour is good and the lighter ones not so much. HEAD are very, very consistent at making great tennis rackets, but by a long way, my absolute favorite is the Speed MP. There you have it then, my top 5 rackets. Just a few honourable mentions to finish, or notes I should say. There is a brand new Extreme coming very, very soon, so look out for that. We've seen it. It's an intense look, looks like a fluorescent yellow, like a high-vis jacket, but it certainly works. We're very excited to try that, mainly because it is having Auxetic 2.0 added to it, as will the Radical and the Gravity when the new versions of these come out as well. It is a bit strange for me to be talking to you, talking about how great a material is, but Auxetic and Auxetic 2.0 are really, really great additions to tennis rackets. HEAD have really done a great job. So if you have got an older HEAD racket, a Radical, a Gravity, an Extreme, wait for the new ones, try with the Auxetic 2.0, they will feel completely different. And if the others are to go by, the Prestige, the Boom and the Speed, they're going to be fantastic rackets as well. No, I'm gonna drop him. That's a fan. That's a fan. Yeah, we good with that? Is that too much, you reckon?
No.
Blabbed on that much, apparently.
No, I mean, he did more. He managed to get up to like a minute 30 in it.
Okay, all right. Josh, talking too much? Surely not. At number 4.